everyone. Welcome to Two Good Sports. Here's our tips for the week. Take them at your own peril. How'd you go last week, Greggy?
Not very good. Took the Dragons. That was not good.
Me too.
Yourself?
Yeah, look, I think I finished about midfield. I took a couple of adventurous ones here and there. I think we probably both did. But looked at a couple of great games. Let's get through into round 9. I can't believe we're in round 9 already.
Yep.
One side played probably one of the best games in the last 5 or 6 years, in my opinion. The Roosters, they're up against the Cowboys, and I couldn't say that about the Cowboys. Cowboys 450. What do you think, Greggy?
Roosters by whatever they want to win by. Self?
Yeah, I can't back the Cowboys on their current form. I think they gave us a bit of field goal last week, Greggy, when they beat the Knights, but they looked pretty ordinary last week. Parramatta were good, but I'm not sure if they were 40 points good. Another side that was disappointing after a good win last week, another Queensland team, is the Titans. They're playing the Warriors. They're both $1.90. I think the bookies can't split them. The Warriors were good against the Broncos. I guess we'll talk about the Broncos later. What do you make of this one?
I thought the Titans were in their game against Cronulla for 50 minutes, and I think they actually had the better of Cronulla for 50 minutes. The last 30 minutes, they fell apart. I like the Titans. I'm going the Titans this one. Am I?
Yeah, me too. I'm going to take the Titans here. It's really very hard to pick this form, isn't it? But I was really impressed by the young kid who made his debut, Bo Firma. I think he's a Dolby Devils junior. He played. He got the junior player of the year in Sydney. Newcastle Knights boy. Look, he looked really good. They've got a couple of players coming back, but I think it won't be much in it. I'm taking the Titans by about 4 points. The Rabbitohs and the Tigers. The Rabbitohs have hit a little bit of a rich vein of form, I suppose you could say. The Tigers had their opportunities, a couple of brain explosions in that game. They went down to a pretty good Penrith side, 19-12. The Rabbitohs $1.48, the Tigers $2.65. Gregory, what do you think?
I don't think much of the Rabbitohs didn't show much against the Bulldogs. I thought it was yet again the Bulldogs were involved in a game that wasn't much chop.
Yep.
I still think they'll win this. The reason I think they'll win this, I think the Tigers put a lot of effort in that last week game against the Panthers, and I reckon it took a bit out of them. That was a very tough game. So I'm going Rabbitohs. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm jumping on board with you again. I think the Rabbitohs, they're going to be without a couple of players. One absolute harebrained moment in the last little bit. Joey never seems to sort of disappoint in that way. A couple of interesting comments from the media about, the silly things he does. He could be a very, very good player, but he does those things. And that's what I guess some people, that makes him wonder why you purchase those types of players. The Sharks. The Sharks have all of a sudden come to the fore. We mentioned a couple of weeks ago that they're a tough team, the Sharks. They don't just lay down and die. They've been impressive the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
They're up against another side that really have impressed. Neither of us took these sides.
No.
Not seriously, but didn't have them in the 8. And Panthers have been probably the most impressive, I'd say, side that no one picked this year.
Yeah, I like the Panthers. Sharks are tough, but the Sharks don't have enough in attack to beat a side like the Panthers, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they're on a bit of a roll at the Panthers at the moment. They won a tough one the other day, and that's what a good team does. Even though they probably didn't play as well as they would have liked against the West Tigers, they still found a way to win. Yeah. I think they'll continue that against the Sharks. The Broncos up against the Bulldogs. Well, the loser will have outright last. And, after the Broncos won their first 2, a club like the Brisbane Broncos, you wouldn't have thought going into round 9, you'd be having this conversation about the Brisbane Broncos. Both coaches are under immense pressure. Broncos are somehow favourites at $1.65. What do you make of this one, mate?
Yeah, they're favourites because they're bad. The Bulldogs are more so than anything, I suppose. And when I say bad, the Bulldogs try hard, but they just don't have enough. They're under salary cap pressure. They get injuries. There's Adam Elliott, I think, is out this week.
He is.
If ever I think the Broncos got to win. They win. They win this time, no matter what. Your thoughts?
Look, if they don't, I'm pretty sure, and not trying to be over dramatic, I think this will be it for Seabold, especially if it's a lackluster performance. Yeah. If the Bulldogs could come out and put 30 points on them like they did their last time they played in the last round in 2019, that'll be it, I would imagine. There's a few guys, apparently, there's going to be a few changes this week. Look, I'm tipping the Bulldogs. I think it'll be an improved performance by the Broncos, but I don't know. I think they've got a little bit more pain before the good things happen. What I do want to maintain is rather be it the Bulldogs, the Dragons, the Broncos, the Titans, whoever side's losing, because there's going to be someone out there disappointed when you see on social media these imbeciles out there burning their jerseys and saying they're handing their club membership back in. You'd actually, as a member of the club, you'd be saying, "You beauty, we don't want you around anyway." They're the same sort of blokes who'd be jumping on the bandwagon if their side, when their side wins a premiership. It'll get better for the Broncos. It'll get better for the Bulldogs. It'll get better for the Titans. The Dragons are, all those sides. But those sorts of fans out there, you don't want them in your club anyway. Those, you've all seen that sort of, that stuff on social media where guys are doing that sort of stuff. The Raiders and the Storm. This is a good one. Last year's premiers up against the previous year's, sorry, not premiers, grand finalists up against the previous year's grand finalists, both against the Roosters. The Storm, that was just on that game, not many better games than that you'll ever see. If that was a grand final, it'd probably go down as the greatest grand final or one of the top two, I'd say, against the Roosters. I'm just wondering how much they've got left in the tank after that one, Greg.
They've got enough. I wasn't impressed with the Raiders against the Dragons. I don't think the Storm lose twice to a side in 1 year very often. I think they'll go to Canberra with something to prove after losing to them in the early rounds. So I like the Storm. Yep.
They've got a couple out, Canberra too. A couple of long-term ones. Look, I'm going to go to the Storm. I think that they'll be a little flatter than they were last week, but I think they'll have enough to creep in against the Raiders. If they lose this week, the Raiders, it's going to be maybe not alarm bells ringing, but it's the next best thing because they're now in a situation where they're, I guess, I know they've won last week, but coming in, there's a lot of people pick them as minor premiers. They might not get there. The Knights and the Eels, it's an interesting one, mate.
I'd be all over the Eels if Moses was playing. I'm still reasonably keen on them. I'm still not 100% sold on the Knights, so I'm going the Eels.
Yeah, me too. I liken them a bit to Penrith, probably a step above at the moment with their roster. They're doing all they need to do. They belted a pretty ordinary Cowboys last week. I think they'll be too strong for the Knights as well. This is back. The Knights have been playing away from home. They're at home this week. That'll be a big boost to them, but I think the Eels will be too strong and a pretty close one. The Dragons and the Seagulls. That was probably Daly Cherry Evans' worst game for a while. And I'm, as you know, a big fan of DCE. I was they've really, I know they've probably missed Tommy Trebojevic more than any player's missed anyone in the last few weeks. Would you say?
Yep, I'd agree. I'm keen on the Dragons this week. I think that they might get the same. They're back at base. I think it's back at Cogra.
Yep.
So I'm pretty keen on the Dragons. I think Manly going through a bit of a bad patch. You get them while they're going through a bad patch. If ever they're going to get them, it's this weekend. So I go with no confidence, but I'm going the Dragons. Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm going to take the Dragons again. I haven't taken the Dragons 2 times in a row and since we've been doing Too Good Sports, but I'm going to this week. I thought you were in patches against the Raiders. It was too much, too little, too late. But it's certainly an improved performance than it was, say, a month ago. So we've taken a couple of similar ones there, mate. Well, that's our tips this week, Greg.
What's your Bentley's lock of the week, Hamo? Those beautiful towels.
My Bentley's lock of the week. Look, the Panthers is my lock of the week. I think that they're going in the right direction and they could be a top 4 side. And a lot of people didn't pick that. You?
Roosters by plenty. 20 plus, unfortunately.
Yep.
What about
Smokey?
Your Bentley Smokey of the week. Yeah, my Bentley Smokey of the week. I'm going to say the Dragons because they're not favourites. So I'll say Dragons are my Smokies of the week this week.
Yeah, all right. Well, gee, you've got me there. I'm going to look. My Smoky. How's this for a Smoky? Is the Storm. The Storm are $2 against.
They're outsiders. That's a Smoky
against the Raiders. So you don't see that very often. Yeah, they're my Smoky. If you could ever call the Cameron Smith team a Melbourne Storm team a Smoky. Well, that's us for our tips this week. Hopefully we go a little bit better than last week. Going to be some really interesting selections this week and some great games on offer. Until next time, Greggy. Catch you soon, mate.
Yep, kick to the corner.